Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. We're going to be talking about wasted years, the prodigal son story. But today we're not going to stay on the prodigal son. We're going to stay on the older brother. Our focus, is going to be on the elder brother, the one that is or was at home and he never left. All right, so let's go. He never left the house. Yes, we know. Yet he wasted years. How? You may ask. Years of guarding what was already his. Years of guarding what was already his, but never touching it. He didn't have access to it. He had access to it, but he never deployed that access. Years of guarding what was already is. I want that statement to sink really in. I want it to really, really sink in so that you understand better. Years of living like a slave inside a mansion that he owned. Years of obedience without understanding, service without intimacy, and proximity without possession. How many of us are in this position today? We serve in the churches, we serve in a local congregation, but we don't have intimacy with the Holy Spirit. We don't have intimacy with the Father, and we don't even know who He is. He was a son, but he thought like a servant, a prince trapped in a slave mentality. This is the tragedy few talk about. The younger son wasted resources, yes, we know, but the older son wasted years and revelation. He had no revelation about who he was. One left physically, yeah, the other stayed, but left mentally. Ignorance of ownership can imprison you more brutally than rebellion ever would. Proximity is not possession. You can be close to power and still remain powerless. You can be close to wealth and still remain poor. You can be close to the truth and still live a lie. Service is not intimacy. You can work for God and never know His heart. You can labor in the system and never enjoy the inheritance. The older brother served hard, but he never asked. He assumed loyalty would automatically unlock this inheritance. I have been there, and so I know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, it doesn't. Inheritance is accessed by relationship, claimed by asking, and sustained by maturity, not by silent resentment. And resentment is the real exposure. When someone else's breakthrough offends you, it reveals the condition of your heart, not because they don't deserve it, but because you believe you were overlooked, because you believe you deserve it more, because you believe your service would automatically transcend to what? Recognition. Okay, or breakthrough. Now, the father said, everything I have was already yours. The problem was never access, it was awareness. Many people are angry at doors opening for others while standing in rooms they never explored. They confuse endurance with entitlement and loyalty with intimacy. But heaven does not reward assumptions, it responds to alignment. You don't inherit because you stayed, you inherit because you know who you are and whose you are. And so, wasted years are not only found in wild living, they are also hidden in faithful routines performed without revelation. So, I want you to ask yourself today, where am I serving without understanding? Where am I close but not engaged? Where have I mistaken presence for possession? Because, let me tell you today, the greatest tragedy is not leaving the Father's house. It is living there and never eating or enjoying like a son. Today, choose revelation over routine. Choose identity over insecurity. And choose sonship over slavery. Because the inheritance was never withheld then, and it is never withheld now. It is just waiting for that recognition and revelation that it is yours. So rise up today and take ownership of what is already yours instead of envying the other person who has been able to access his inheritance. Until I come your way again next day, come on, have a fantastic week ahead. Bye-bye.